Is it possible to walk with God and be used by God even though we're so flawed as human beings? The answer is absolutely yes. Speaking of flaws, is absolutely yes. And I think there's a great example in Holy Week that testifies to this, and that is the contrast between Peter and Judas Iscariot. If you know anything about the Bible, you know that Judas is infamous for his betrayal of Christ. He was one of his close disciples. He walked with him. He was in an intimate relationship with the Lord so far as his ministry and fellowship. And yet he agreed with the chief priest to betray Jesus for 30 pieces of silver, led them to the Garden of Gethsemane where Jesus was with his disciples, and betrayed him with a kiss. Once he saw that Jesus had been condemned to death, it says that Judas went out, he threw the silver back at the feet of the chief priests, and then went out and hanged himself. Peter had promised the Lord at the Last Supper that when Jesus was speaking of his suffering and his impending crucifixion, he said that even if everyone were to deny you, Lord, I will do it. And yet Peter, when push came to shove, as Jesus predicted, denied the Lord 3 times. Peter went out and wept bitterly, and then later is restored. Gospel of John tells us Jesus finds him and some others fishing, and just to make a long story short, he says, feed my lambs, feed my sheep, and he recommissions Peter into his apostolic ministry. And Peter had the heart to serve God. He was on board for the right reasons. The disciples were full of flaws. They made mistakes. They had wrong thinking so many times. And isn't that just like us? We have wrong thinking, wrong attitudes, wrong motives. We're here, we're there. We're good one day, we're down the next. Peter in Matthew, there's one occasion where Peter makes this great confession that Jesus said was revealed to him only by God. Matthew 13, he says, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. Is that Matthew 13? Nonetheless, it's in Matthew. And he says, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And then just a few verses later, as Jesus is talking about his suffering, the Lord looks at him and he says, no, Lord, not you. He says, get behind me, Satan. It's so wonderful to know that disciples, though flawed, though they made mistakes, they had a heart for the Lord. And because of their heart for the Lord, they were able to press through, and the Lord was able to get them across the finish line, even unto Spirit baptism in Acts, where they were empowered by the Spirit for holiness and ministry. So you can do it, we can do it, if our heart is to seek the Lord and to walk with Him.